is going on, folks? We appreciate y'all supporting the Masterpiece edition of Black Wall Street, the board game. We got another amazing, established, but still growing artist for you. Out here in sunny Los Angeles, we got Vakseen, who is motivated and inspired by life, pop culture, and of course, reflecting upon the Black experience. Brother Vakseen, how you doing today?
And I'm amazing. Thank you for having me. Definitely a pleasure and an honor to be just a part of this epic game, man.
Of course, man. We appreciate you. And I wanna have a nice little real talk. Folks don't know this, and I think it's important to give respect when respect due. When we first launched the Masterpiece edition of Black Wall Street, the board game, we were trying as best as possible to work with artists and see how many folks could donate their games. We came across the amazing work of Vakseen, and we were like, Vakseen, what's up? We need to have this art. What can we do? And he was like, commission. We need to make sure artists are getting commissioned out here in these streets and making sure that, of course, getting some good experience, but also continue to get payment. And then that's where it's like, all right, cool, let's start commissioning some art. So then we got Vakseen, we got the other 14 other artists. And because you were able to have that experience and really, communicate to us what the artist needs, we were able to open the doors for other artists as well. So I think a lot of other people probably don't know that, but hopefully they're watching this interview and they're able to tip the hat where the respect is due.
That's love. I appreciate you sharing that.
Of course.
I think it's important. Artists are always taken care of, just fairly, nothing more, just in a fair fashion. We do what we love, and yeah, it's a blessing, man.
Big facts. And you've had a blessed year. We're going to get into that a little bit, but if you can start us back a little bit towards the beginning of your career, what launched you into art? What inspired you originally to start creating these pieces?
Art in general, man. I've been an artist my whole life, but just due to various reasons, my journey took me more down the path of pursuing music. I fell in love with music, and that's where I ended up, creating a career. So it wasn't until I moved to Los Angeles and stopped working for a label, and just my time management changed completely. It wasn't until I moved to LA that I really decided to kind of get back focused on my art. And this was 2011. I moved April 1st, 2011. January 1st, 2012 is officially when my art journey began. And people were seeing my old things I'd done in high school. And, they were just flipping out. And mind you, I graduated high school in 97. So it was much older work. Mm-hmm. And, after the fourth, fifth person saying, hey, you should be doing something with your art, I said, oh, okay, I hear you guys. I see you. So this was like the end of 2011. I said, okay, this new year's coming. I'm going to take this seriously. And this was January 1st, 2012. That next month, I had my very first gallery show. I was featured in a Black History Month show, NoHo Art Gallery. It was respected gallery in North Hollywood. And to me, that was all the confirmation I needed. And it was at a unique time where, I think God was definitely testing me to see if I wanted this, because at the same time, I had the #1 record in the world, which is kind of crazy, just the music experience I've had in general. That journey has been incredible. Mm-hmm. But art, I think, is what has always fulfilled me just so much more. And that's where the journey began. And I really just slowly got more and more focused on my art. It just started as a passion. And as the more I created and put it out into the world and got that feedback, like people were loving the things I was doing. And even those earliest paintings, as I started to really dive into serious work and try to find a style, like pretty much everything I was doing was selling. So it was just like God, the universe letting me know, like, okay, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And I'm big on that. You got to listen to that intuition and just tap in and you know, press that pedal all the way to the floor. And that's what I've been doing the past 10 years. It's, you know, it's been about 10 years now that I've been a professional artist, and the journey has been nothing short of amazing. And I still, at every step of this journey, I feel like I'm just starting. So even, you know, 10 years in, I'm just like, we're just getting started.
Facts, big facts. You said there was like a switch where you were, you know, dabbling in art, but and then you got enough feedback to where you started taking it seriously. What was the difference between someone who's dabbling, or at least in your life, you dabbling versus you being serious in something? For the folks that are maybe out there on the fence about music, on the fence about art, board games, any type of passion, what's that seriousness look like?
I mean, you just got to be fully committed. You have to be fully invested. I'm a creator, and this is what I do day in, day out. Whether it was music when I was fully, and I'm still involved with music, it's just at a limited capacity now. But I've been doing that for almost 20 years. But I mean, it doesn't matter what we're talking about. When you're invested, if you're passionate about it, you're all in. One of my old bosses used to ask, if my first music industry job, he used to ask, you know, would you put the house on it? Dang. And it was just pretty much presents the idea of, if you present something, if you bring it to the table, are you willing to bet everything that you own on this idea? Dang. And it would, you know, I mean, a lot of people scared to bring ideas to the table. And for me, it was just like, no, you just got to make sure. I would always shoot my shots. You just got to make sure that you're shooting just the best shot possible. You know what I'm saying? So you have to give your all. You have to be fully dedicated, because you get what you get. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Speaking of which, the art piece that you contributed is of someone who definitely shot their shot this year or last year at the vice president position. So the motivation seems obvious, but I want to know your perspective. What was the motivation for creating this extremely timely and probably iconic piece of Madam Vice President?
Well, you know, my work celebrates our culture anyways. Like, my work celebrates pop culture, celebrates Black culture. And this was just a historic moment definitely for Blacks, but for any person of color. This was a historic moment for women. This was just such an epic moment on so many levels. I was inspired, I was motivated, and, you know, I wanted to capture something vibrant that just kind of celebrated this moment, and even in a bigger fashion, is something that the youth could have up on their wall and keep them inspired, you know, day in, day out, no matter what they're going through, that anything is possible. And, you know, that's what it's always about, just connecting us. That's what I love about art. You know, it connects us all. And that moment is just, I mean, it can't get any more powerful than that. You know what I'm saying? Minority and a woman in the most powerful position, you know, in one of the most powerful positions in the world. Yep. Like, it just, you know, it's as big as, you know, when I remember when Obama became president, you know, it lets us know, like, yo, anything is possible, especially the youth. Like, that's where it really needs to be embedded. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. And what I love is these eyes just looking right at you with the smile, but like the eye just has a separate message to me. It just says, like, it can be done. Mm-hmm. You can do it, right? It's just like that little subtle, maybe it's because of the shine that's in the eyes, but I love the motivation for sure behind it. Well done. Love it.
Thank you.
So transitioning a little bit off of the Madam Vice President piece. Again, beautiful piece. Where are some other places? I have one in mind. I think I commented on one of your Instagram posts, but other places where your art is being featured, other places where your art is being appreciated.
Oh man, my work is, I'm extremely blessed. My work is everywhere. Most recently, my work was featured on Snowfall. I've been featured like the past 2 seasons of Insecure. I'm actually featured on the next season of Insecure. I've been featured on BBC World News. My works, I mean, I'm featured in American Art Collector last summer. I'm featured in another issue. I just finished an interview with them this week. Done work with Nike, Adidas. I've been incredibly blessed, incredibly blessed, and that's just like the brand side. I've on the brand side of things, like I've been blessed to have my work in a lot of well-respected galleries. I'm being featured in my 5th museum exhibition this summer at the W Mocha. Like it's been an incredible journey. And that's why I say, like, you have to be fully invested. Like, you have to be fully in and dive in.
So I think a lot of artists probably are looking at like, oh man, you're in these TV shows, these galleries. How do I get there? What are maybe like the few foundation laying steps? Or maybe it's the communication, maybe it's the networking, but what are those foundation laying steps that people should be taking if they want to be featured in a Snowfall and an Insecure and other TV shows and art galleries? What can be done?
You gotta be super diligent. You gotta be super proactive with your career. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to make these things happen for yourself. And all these things I'm telling you I've done. I don't have management. I don't have an agent. I am my own team. I'm just now getting an assistant, thank God. But you have to just like day in, day out. I definitely I balance my life and I enjoy life, but I work hard. I'm hustling and grinding when most people are out playing or when most people are sleeping. You got to be super proactive. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of platforms that want to feature art, that want to feature us. If you're an artist of color, you just have to be proactive and look for these opportunities. The internet is incredible. There are a lot of sites that you can just dive down these rabbit holes and, just network, build relationships. That's the biggest thing. That's number one, creating your relationships and doing the work. I've been, like I said, I've been a professional artist for 10 years and this grind has been the same. And for me, not being from Los Angeles, there's always been an extra spark behind me because I feel like I got to play catch up to people that have had the advantage of being here for years. Like, this is the city you want to be. This is a city of endless opportunity. So I've always had that spark under me. Like, nah, there's cats that have been here 20 years of their whole lives. You know what I'm saying? And, it just keeps me motivated and inspired. And I'm naturally competitive too. So I'm just, I look at what other artists are doing and that keeps me fired up. I just, I'm focused. I have a goal. I have a vision. I have things I want to accomplish. And we haven't even seen a glimpse of that yet. So that just keeps me inspired and looking for opportunities to take my dreams to a bigger place, and that requires work. Like these dreams aren't going to manifest on their own. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to put in that work. I have to create relationships. I might have to put myself in uncomfortable positions. And I say that because a lot of times artists aren't social. A lot of times we can be introverts, but you got to step outside of that box. And especially when it comes to art, I'm a very chill and quiet person, but when it comes to my art, that's when you see all this passion come out. I'm not like this 24/7. I'm very chill. But when it comes to my art, this is what I love. This is what you know what I'm saying? Like, this is my heart. Like, that's when you see this passion pour out, and that's what has to be there no matter what you're pursuing. You know what I'm saying? That passion, that drive, that dedication, that's going to lead the way. You know what I'm saying? When you have that there, that's going to help you through major pandemics. Like, no matter what life throws at you, it's gonna serve its purpose. Like, art is definitely that for me. It's everything. It's my lifeline.
Ooh, so if you want to get in contact with the Lifeline, with Vakseen over here, I know y'all can feel this passion. You can follow him on Instagram at Vakseen, VAKSEEN. You can also go to vakseenart.com to support. Definitely tap in. A lot of dope stuff happening. So I want to get a little bit back to, you said folks that are trying to make things happen, like you have to do the work and you need to make it happen. And you, my brother, have for sure been putting in some work. So first off, want to celebrate and hopefully talk a little bit about the gallery that is opening up, and the fact that, not only are you able to get featured and commissioned in other galleries, but you're also like, you know what, I want my own space as well. So I'd love to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, 2021 it's been an incredible year. I'm a crypto artist as well as being an illustrator and a fine artist. And this past couple of years have just really taken off. And the crypto art scene specifically in 2021 has just been, it's life changing. It's my grind is what's allowed me to open this gallery, but crypto art is a huge contributor in the financial aspect. It's completely changed my life. And it's honestly it's blessing a lot of us artists of color. And I've been blessed to do a few other interviews on major platforms, just sharing that message behind it. But it's allowed me to open a space, and even as I did my research, I've been looking for a space. Funny enough, a year ago, this wasn't even on my plate at all as far as like an immediate goal. A year ago, we were in a major pandemic, and I barely knew, you know what I'm saying, like how I was gonna keep eating during the pandemic. And I got blessed, extremely blessed, to be in a position to open my own gallery. And it's all my work. Features all of my work. Like I mean, blessed is an understatement. And I plan on doing, curating special events. It's going to be a private space, so I plan on just curating special art experiences that obviously have a foundation of art, but that involve other forms of art, the culinary arts, obviously music, another one of my passions, and just a space that's inclusive, that feels home for definitely for our culture, for us, but for everyone. And that can be a problem. I've been in, ironically, one of the last gallery shows I had, my collector had an issue where she was basically profiled. She's one of my biggest collectors, and that's just, it's funny because that's the nature of profiling. You never know who you're profiling. And that was kind of like the final straw. I was like, man, working with galleries, I'm cool. I need my own space. I need to make sure that my people feel welcome when they're coming to support me. And it's a blessing. And even in the research that I did, I as of last year, there were only 24 Black owned art spaces in the city of Los Angeles, which is mind blowing because, it went on to further state that there are well over 1,000 galleries here in Los Angeles. So it's historic. It's much needed. Like there are definitely no Black galleries in the Valley. So it's like, far as I know, the first Black owned gallery in North Hollywood. Like, just North Hollywood has been my home since I moved to LA, and it just want to make sure that I'm building within the community as well. That's been a community that's been so supportive of me. North Hollywood, Los Angeles has shown me nothing but love. So now it's time for me to return that love and just help, continue to build and grow, man. I'm excited. I'm very, very excited.
No, you said music, food, which is what caught my attention, and art. So yeah, that's gonna be a vibe for sure. If you're in the 818, the Great 18, or Los Angeles area, definitely tap in to the gallery. Okay, circling back to art a little bit. You personally, why? You mentioned this a little bit earlier, but why is creating art important to Vakseen as the person? Right, and not as the artist, not as the art gallery, but you as an individual. What does art do for you, and why do you create art?
Art keeps me alive.
Wow.
Art, if I don't create, I'm dead. I'm telling you. When I think about any time in my life before I was pursuing it 100% and all in, I think I've been all in since I was like 21. but officially since I was 25. And prior to that, I was just kind of going through the motions. Like, I was not happy. I was miserable. Art is my therapy. Art is my sanity. Art is everything, literally everything. And there's art in everything. You know what I'm saying? God is a creator. So I mean, art is everything we know and experience in life. So it's, I say it's for me, but even as I share this, it sounds like art is like that for everybody.
Right. Fire. All right. Last question for you. We ask folks either who are your artist mentors who has like kind of helped you become the Vakseen you are today, or maybe who is some of your favorite artists out there. And funny enough, you have Malcolm X behind you. We had another artist who said Malcolm X was their favorite artist because they saw speeches as a way of art, right? It's just as hard to combine the words in a speech, the emotions, the tone, the funny, but still the potentness that Malcolm X for sure had. That's just as hard as a song, as a poem, as a painting. But zooming back to you, who are maybe some of your mentors or some of your favorite artists, no matter what the medium is?
I First off, Malcolm, yeah. I never thought about it like that, but it's spot on. It's definitely spot on with Malcolm. And I had a Malcolm poster on my wall just as a kid. Definitely a huge inspiration. For me, I'm someone that is by people that are just doing what they love and being successful. Like, I love seeing you guys putting this together. Like, that is an inspiration to me. I love seeing, the artists that have done interviews before me. I'm inspired in day-to-day situations because I genuinely love seeing us win. But on a bigger level, I've always been inspired by cats like Jay-Z, Diddy, cats that have been able to maneuver within multiple fields and have major success and prove that it doesn't have to be, we can't only be just one thing. We don't have to be molded within this box. That's always been a big inspiration for me, especially like hip hop has just always been big. Like, that's my core, that's my foundation, that's my religion, if you will. So I've always just been, fully engulfed in that culture. So a lot of when you think about that culture, it's like we come from nothing and create something epic. So that has just been a huge inspiration to my journey, period. Which is, I think, naturally why I tap into pop culture within my work, But, just those to name a few. I mean, if we get into, the old world, definitely cats like, Picasso, Basquiat, Warhol, Salvador Dali, when we touch into like my fine artwork, I'm definitely inspired by a lot of things, but it's not like I grew up idolizing any specific artists. Like, when you see my creations, this is just an extension of my DNA. Whether it's this work, my work that looks like collage that's painted, like I didn't grow up idolizing any specific artist. Like, oh, I want to do work like this person, or even people see my work and they compare it to Picasso, and I had to go research, Picasso to fully understand the comparison earlier in my career. And then I was like, oh, okay, I see it. But, I think we're all just connected. We're, nothing new is done under the sun. We just think about things in a different fashion. And I'm just inspired by all of it.
Love that. And I thought I was going to let you go, but you said one line in there that I want to double back on. You said your art was an extension of your DNA, which is a very unique line that I haven't heard before. What does that mean? An extension of your DNA. What does that mean to you?
Well, I'm everything that all the little characteristics that make me, the things that I love and that I like. I'm super meticulous with everything that I do. I'm very neat and detailed. I like vibrant colors, like all of these things they show up in my work.
Yeah.
They show up in my work. Like people always think this body of work, like everything is painted. People always think it's screen printed because it's so perfect. They think it's everything but a painting. And it's just because I'm super meticulous. Like I want my creations to be perfect. And it's literally, I put all of myself into my creations. I spill my emotions with each creation that I sit down and begin to work on. Every single thing that is within me is going into this piece. And you feel that when you get my work, you feel this raw emotion, you feel this energy, and it definitely stems from the color, it stems from the eyes, it stems from the gaze, it stems from everything. And I think that's what makes my work, when I think about it, what makes people really gravitate towards my work. You have this overload of this sensory overload, if you will, because I'm hitting you across the head. Because color alone carries this energy. You know what I'm saying? Like the juxtapose, like the pose alone carries this energy. But then when you combine those, and then when you combine my intention, the color, the way I use it within the portrait, and the energy that I'm giving you from myself, like this is just explosive when you experience a piece. So it turns like just a regular piece of Malcolm to something that's like, oh, it's going to stop you in your tracks. And I'm blessed that most people share that. So many people have reached out, especially during this pandemic, and just share how instrumental my work has been in just helping them and coping and healing and working through this tough time. I mean, it's been a blessing in itself, just having people share that, that my work is that powerful for them.
Oh yeah. Thank you for sharing your story. If you want to support the story, you can follow at Vakseen, VAKSEEN on Instagram, or head to vakseenart.com. One of the contributing artists for the masterpiece edition of Black Wall Street, the board game, has been able to do all types of dope stuff in the pandemic, but don't be fooled. It was 10 years of dedication, 10 years of grind, laughing at his own pain. So definitely follow in the footsteps and get this example. Brother Vakseen, any last words of either encouragement or events that you want to pub or products that you want to pub on your own behalf?
Man, I'm just, it's an honor. Like, this is the first board game I've ever been a part of. And, to me, 2021 has been a year of multiple firsts on so many levels, opening my first gallery, like my first board game. This is epic. And it just, what it represents, it celebrates. I'm here. So I'm honored. I'm thankful, to be a part of this. And, I have a lot of exciting things ahead. My gallery's opening in August. I have a huge, NFT crypto art drop on Maker's Place in August. I have another huge show with my one-off family in the metaverse as well. Like, there's just a lot of incredible things, not to mention this huge campaign that I have coming up with one of the biggest sports brands in the world. 2021 is incredible, and I'm blessed, I'm honored, and I'm thankful because I'm in a position to open doors for us, to open that many more doors for us, and put us in a position to win and just continue to break down these barriers.
There it is. Go support the blessings that come in your way, just like they've come to Brother Vakseen. Appreciate you for coming on today, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate you, man.